Okay, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah, and this video is going to be my Green Ribbon Book Club video, August wrap-up, and September TBR for the book club. The Green Ribbon Book Club is a book club that is dedicated to read books that is focused around mental illness and have discussions on it every month with whatever book we decide. So if that is something that you would be interested in, I would definitely take a look at the links I'm posting down below in the subscription box. I will link below the Twitter page for the Green Ribbon Book Club because every month she puts up 3 choices, I think she's done the last 2 months, and we have been able to vote on which book we would personally like to read. And then the book with the highest votes, that is the next book we get to read. So I'm going to start off this video with kind of doing a non-spoiler review of August's book of the month, and that was Paperweight by Meg Haston. And I would just like to say that this book has trigger warnings for eating disorders, obsessive behavior, and suicidal depression. So just so you know, this book is really intense at some, if not most, points. I ended up giving this book 5 out of 5 stars. To be completely honest, for the first quarter of the book, I thought I was going to be giving it like a 2-star read. But if you stick around until the very end of the book, it is actually a wonderful book. It follows a girl named Stevie, and she has had a traumatic experience happen to her, and her childhood was just a little bit different than most kids her age at the time, and this has led her to have a major eating disorder. The traumatic experience that happens at the very beginning of the book actually leads to Stevie kind of taking her eating disorder to a whole new level, and as the little quote on the front of the book says, it kind of gives you a glimpse into probably what she would be planning to do. And if you were just paying attention to my trigger warnings, it's probably not a huge surprise, but on the front of the book it says she has nothing left to lose. So we follow Stevie. Her father puts her into a facility for people her age that have eating disorders, and we kind of follow her transition into kind of her healing process. At the very beginning of the book, and probably not until 60% through the book, she has no inkling of hope at the beginning, or even like 60% through the book. You see a slight change about 60% through that kind of the way she thinks changes. She has an amazing psychiatrist, and I kind of wish she was my psychiatrist, to be completely honest. Her name is Anna, and Stevie has put herself so far apart from every other human being in her life. She doesn't even call a lot of these people, other people in the book, by their names. For example, she calls Anna Shrink, and I think that is just to separate herself from feeling and from gaining connections for her plan for herself throughout the book. I didn't actually start liking Stevie until like the last 10 or 20% of the book. I disliked her a lot, like a lot. The way that she was treating other girls in the facility really rubbed me the wrong way. There is one character in particular, Ashley. She is also suffering from the same thing that Stevie is, except Ashley's story is a little bit different. I was actually feeling really invested in Ashley's story along with Stevie's story. So I really liked Ashley, and Stevie was treating Ashley like complete garbage, and it really rubbed me the wrong way. But it was the experiences in the path that Stevie was taking throughout the book and kind of seeing her personal growth throughout the book that kept me invested, and not Stevie's character herself, because like I was saying, I don't like Stevie. If we go back to Ashley for just a second, this is going to be Stevie's like first real friend, or a girl that treats Stevie like a human being and not a possession. And I think part of why Stevie has such a hard time connecting to other people, or Ashley in particular, is because she's never had that. At one point, Anna, aka Shrink, asks Stevie why she doesn't like Ashley, and Stevie pretty much says, I don't know, it's her attitude, which Ashley doesn't have an attitude. So in the long run, Stevie doesn't have a reason for not liking Ashley. She just doesn't like Ashley. And again, I think this is her taking herself out of personal relationships that she could, in fact, probably connect to another human being, and because she doesn't want any worldly connections for herself. And I believe that part of it isn't just because she doesn't want any connections with anyone. I think it's because she doesn't know how to have connections with anyone, because it's not something that she has had throughout her childhood. At first, I really hated Stevie and everything about Stevie because of the way she treated other people around her, even people that were trying to befriend her, help her, encourage her, etc. But Stevie's story was actually something that it unfolded very slowly. It was very realistic, and it was actually really enjoyable to read. You see her slowly transforming into someone completely different. You see the way she thinks and the way her mind works take a 360, and there was a scene in the book where she sneaks out with a bunch of other girls, and the morning after, Anna, aka Shrink, asks her if she had fun. Instead of yelling at her for breaking the rules, the first thing she asks is if she had fun, and Stevie doesn't seem to understand how to acknowledge her feelings of being able to laugh. And it wasn't necessarily reading the scene where Stevie snuck out, it was the scene after where she's talking to her psychiatrist about being able to be a young woman having fun with friends. For some reason, it really spoke to me, spoke to my soul, and it was just such a heartwarming scene. And that is where you really start to see Stevie open up. But like I said, it isn't until more than halfway through the book. But it was something that I really just enjoyed. This book is only 288 pages long. It's not too big, but at page 200-ish, you really start to understand even more, or on a deeper level, why Stevie is the way she is. It talks about a funeral, and it dives deeper into her relationship with her mother. And I'm not gonna lie, at some points of this book, I was tearing up, or I was kind of choked up inside. I really like that Meg Haston didn't just give you all the information at once in the beginning of the book. She kind of throws it at you throughout the book, and so you might hate Stevie at the beginning of the book, but as the book goes on, you really start to get a grasp of who Stevie is as a character and her life story, and you start to actually appreciate how strong Stevie is and really get to appreciate the transformation Stevie takes in this facility. The ending of the book, it's not sad and it's not happy. It's like a weird in-between. But what I am going to tell you is that at the very end of the book, there's a scene with her dad. It's the very last chapter, and it had me almost in tears. It was heartwarming. I got closure, even though it's not an ending, but it was an ending enough for a type of book like this. And I don't know, I felt it on a deep level. I don't suffer from eating disorders or obsessive tendencies, but I do suffer from depression, and my dad is my best friend. So I think maybe that's why I connected to this scene on a deeper level, but it was absolutely fantastic. And I think one aspect of why I'm giving this book 5 out of 5 stars is the ending. Like I said, it's not a complete ending. It's not a happy ending per se, but it still somehow gives you closure, and I respect that. So yes, 5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely love this book. I know this review is nothing like my July wrap-up, which I kind of got really intense, and yes, but this is a very serious book with very serious issues, and it's just one of those things where I really wanted to talk to you guys about it on a personal level, and I think I will be doing a separate wrap-up video for the Green Ribbon Book Club every month. If it's something you want to keep seeing, please let me know. But yes, I recommend this book, but yes, please be careful of the trigger warnings. It's just, I want everyone out there and everyone watching to really be careful of the trigger warnings of this book so you're not surprised in any way. So the September book for the Green Ribbon Book Club has been chosen, and I'm not gonna lie, I voted for it. One, it was a book on my bookshelf, so now I don't have to go out and buy an additional book when I have over 100 books that I need to read, in a combination of the books on my bookshelf that I haven't read and the books on my Kindle that I have yet to read. And that is not including all the books that I need to reread in preparation for books that are coming out within the next year. So this book I, for one reason, picked because I already owned it and have yet to read it but want to, and because I legitimately think I'm going to enjoy this book. So Paperweight was, I think, a young adult or new adult fiction, maybe even a YA contemporary. It's In my personal opinion, it's that in-between stage. I don't know. I don't know what they classify it. I might figure that out before I post this video. But this next book is definitely a YA contemporary, and it is Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia. So what I know for this book is that it follows a webcomic artist and writer in high school. She has a secret. I don't know what the secret is. The synopsis doesn't tell you what the secret is, and I have read zero spoilers on what this book is about. On the inside cover, it says that Eliza is shy, weird, and friendless. But online, she is the widely popular webcomic Monstrous Sea. It also says Eliza can't imagine enjoying the real world as much as she loves the online one, and she has no desire to try. And because I don't know a lot about this book, I'm just going to keep reading the synopsis because, yeah, I probably couldn't explain it much better anyways. But it says on the next paragraph of the synopsis, then Wallace Worland, Monstrous Sea's biggest fanfiction writer, transfers to her school. Wallace thinks Eliza is just another fan and he draws her out of her shell. She begins to wonder if a life offline might be worthwhile. But when Eliza's secret is accidentally shared with the world, everything she's built, her story, her relationship with Wallace, and even her sanity begins to fall apart. So I don't know if this is a coming of age book along with dealing with some other things. I know there is a depression trigger warning when I was on Goodreads reading some spoiler-free reviews, but within the book it does have some art in it on pages, which I think is really cool, and I think it's going to be a little less intense than Paperweight, and to be completely honest with you, I think I can kind of appreciate taking a step back from super duper serious and just having some serious. So yes, Paperweight was a little intense at times and had my emotions running high. And I heard the same things happen with Eliza and Her Monsters, but I'm hoping it's going to be on a slightly lower level because that book gave me all the feels. So I need something with maybe a happy ending and kind of coming of age. In high school, and now, I guess, yeah, now, I do suffer from depression and I'm an artist. Yeah, high school was hard for me and I also spent a lot of time online. So I feel like I might connect to this book a little bit more than the other book, but I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I guess we'll find out. So stay tuned for the end of September where I give you a full spoiler-free review of Eliza and Her Monsters like I just previously did with Paperweight. You'll also get a sneak peek and description of October's book. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to talk about Paperweight or want to tell me how you felt about Eliza and Her Monsters if you've already read it, please comment below. I love comments. I talk to every single one of you. I hope you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Also, please check out Green Ribbon Book Club. It is pretty much all of my favorite booktubers and booktube friends, all reading these books, discussion. There's a live show at the end of every month, and we would love to welcome you into our little booktube family. And I hope you enjoyed this video. So like, comment, subscribe down below, and I'll see you later. Bye!